Hello everyone. Today let's solve the problem two buttons. So this was asked in Codeforces around 295 division 2, right? So what the question states here, we are given two integers, one is n and one is m. Just give me a second here. Yeah, we are given two integers, one is n and another one is m, right? So we can double the number by pressing the red button and subtract one by pressing the this one. What do we call? Blue button. So we can double the numbers means into 2, right? So we can double the number by pressing the red button. So by pressing the red button here we can double the number, right? So I'll just give here red button, and we can subtract 1. We can just subtract by 1 minus 1. This will be by pressing the blue button, by pressing the blue button. Just keep this in mind, right? Just keep this in mind. We have to find the minimum number of operations that is needed to convert n to m. Basically we have to convert the number n to m by performing the operations. Either we can press the red button or we can press the blue button. Red button, it doubles the number, and blue button, it subtracts the number by 1, right? So if n is greater than m, only blue button minus 1 can be used repeatedly. Means if n itself is greater than m, to make it as m, to make n as m, we have to subtract that one, quite obviously, right? Then we can use only blue button, right? Minus 1, minus 1, we when we press the this one blue button, we are subtracting 1, right? So we are subtracting 1. So if n is greater than m, only blue button minus 1 can be used repeatedly, right? Otherwise, we have to greedily work backwards from m to n. Otherwise, we have to greedily work backwards from m to n, right? So you would have already guessed that we would be making use of the greedy approach for this one. In the question itself, they have mentioned, right? So we will be going with the greedy approach for this one. So again, I'll just read out the question loud. Just listen to this, right? So we are given two integers n and m. We are given two integers n and m. So we can double the number by pressing the red button. We can double the number by pressing the red button, or subtract one by pressing the blue button, right? We have to find the minimum number of operations that is needed to convert n to m. We have to find the minimum number of operations that is needed to convert n to m. So that's what we need to find. So we have to convert n to m, equivalent to m, n to m. So if n is greater than m, only blue button can be used repeatedly, because see, suppose n we have 7 and m we have 6. To make 7 as 6, we have to only subtract, right? In this case we have to use the blue button exactly once, right? So here exactly once, so the answer will be 1, right? So 7 minus 1 will be 6, right? 7 minus 1 will be 6. We have to use the blue button exactly once here in this case, right? 7 minus 1 will lead to 6 actually, 6 actually, right? So answer would be 1. So if n is greater than m, only blue button minus 1 can be used repeatedly. Otherwise, greedily work backwards from m to n, m to n. So for this, we'll be making use of the greedy approach. So you will see this one while we discuss the approach. Now I hope the question is completely clear, right? So what we need to do is completely clear along with the question. So let's come to the input output part here. So we have example 4 6. We have the example 4 6. This is nothing but n, and this is nothing but m. So here in this case we have to go with the this one into 2, into 2, and then we have to this one doubles, right? Double means 8 we have here. Or we can do one thing, man. Just give me a second. Did I get confused here, man? One second. Hmm, what did I do here? Just a second. Now we have to have the same value of this one. N and M should we have to have the same value, right? So we have to have 4. We have to have 4 for both N and M. We have to uh, find, or we have to calculate the minimum number of operations that is needed to convert n to m. Minimum number of operations that is needed to convert n to m, right? So first here, uh, so I hope the input output part is completely clear. The output, the minimum number of minimum number of operations that is required to convert n to m is 2 here. Same goes with this one as well, nm. So the output here is this one 9. By looking at it we can tell, right? Plus 1, this one 9 times. will lead to 10. So here 6 minus 2 equals 4. 6 minus 2 equals 4. Here in this case it is 1. 1 plus 9 will lead to this one plus this one, what do we call, 1 into 10, sorry, 1 into 10 basically. So this will be 9 times, right? Uh, oh, n to m we have to do, right? So this one 10 minus 9, so this will be 9. Yeah, 9 times. This is correct. This as well. So here we have the value greater 6. So whenever we have m greater, so we have to match this one by we are matching this one by the n. We will be matching this one by n. Right, suppose this side is greater, m is greater, then we will be subtracting that one. So see here, 10 minus 1, this will lead to the 9. So this is fine. So here in this case we have 4 and 6, we have to go with 4 equals 4 until 4 equals 4. So this we can just do by 2 times, right? So this one we can just do this one by 2 times, minus 1 2 times, blue button twice. So this will give us the output 4. So this is the approach that we'll be going with. So this let's discuss this one later. For now, I hope the input output part is completely clear along with the question, man. Right. So now as we are completely familiar with the question, let's do one thing. Let's discuss the approach followed by the complexities, and then let's write the code. Initially, let's discuss the approach first. So here, just give me a second. So yeah, here I have considered the same first example, 4 and 6. This is n, this is m. The output that we need to get here is 2, or the total number of operations, minimum number of operations to make n to m is this one 2, right? So we'll be going with the greedy approach as I've said earlier. So we'll be making use of the greedy approach here. Right, so let's move on with the step-by-step explanation. Here we have the input 4 and 6. We have the input 4 and 6. We'll be considering same thing, right? So we'll start from m equals 6. We will start from m equals 6, right? So m we have 6 here and n we have 4 here. We'll try to reduce it backward to n equals 4 with minimum steps, right? So that's what we'll be doing. We are going with the greedy, right? So if m is even, m is even here, 6 we have, the number 6 we have, right? So if m is even, reverse of doubling, reverse of doubling is division by 2. Reverse of doubling is division by 2, right? So what we will do, 2, 6, this one. This one will be basically 6 by 2. This will be 3. Reverse of this one, doubling is division by 2. Reverse of doubling is division by 2. So 2 equals 6 equals 3, means 6 by 2 basically. We are getting the answer 3 here. We have got the answer 3 basically, right? So if m is odd, then we cannot divide cleanly. So increase it to make it even. Nothing but here in this case 3 to 4. 3 to 4, nothing but step 2 here. This one is step 2 basically, right? So if m is odd, we cannot divide cleanly. So we have to increase it to make it even. So one step is we have divided 6 by 2. This will, we have got 3 basically. This I have written in the sense like this, 2, 6, 3, right? So the second step is we have got the answer 3. If it is odd, then we cannot divide, right? So just keep this in mind. If it is odd, we'll not be dividing. If it is an odd number, then we will increase the number. We will increase the number by 1. We'll be increasing the number by 1. We are going with the reverse greedy. We are going with the reverse greedy approach, right? So in this case, we'll be going with plus 1, plus 1. So this will be 4. So the total number of steps is here, this one, 6 by 2, that will lead to 3, and 3 plus 1, that is nothing but 4. Now we reached n equals 4. We have the value 4, right? So the total steps that is required here to reach the 4 is 2. 2, right? So the final output that we got here is 2, which is equivalent to the output that they have given for the example 1, which is equivalent to the output that they have given for the example 1. So our approach works absolutely correct in this case, right? So our approach works absolutely correct in this case. As we are completely familiar with the approach, let's discuss the complexities part. So the time complexity here would be because of logarithmic n for the code that we'll be writing in the future, or accordingly with the approach, right? So accordingly with the approach, the time complexity for the code that we'll be writing in the future would be because of logarithmic n, m, because we are reducing the m approximately in half each time, right? We are reducing the m approximately in half each time. when the number is even. So this is the condition when the number is even. So when the number is odd, will not be dividing, instead we will be adding plus 1. Instead we'll be adding plus 1, right? So we reduce m approximately in each half time. This will, as we are reducing m approximately in half each time, we will be, what do you call, we will be getting the time complexity in the logarithmic this thing, right? So overall time complexity would lead to big of log m here. So what would be space complexity here? The space complexity would be big of 1, because we'll not be making use of any extra space except few variables. You'll get to know this one when we write the this one code, right? So the time complexity and the space complexity for the code that we'll be writing in the future would be big of logarithmic m and big of 1 respectively, right? So I hope the complexities part is completely clear, along with the this one approach. As we are completely familiar with the approach and complexities, let's start writing the code, right? Let's start writing the code. Let's start writing the code. So I'll just come to the compiler here. So we'll be making use of the different utilities. So I'll just go with the utility package. So I'll just write import java util dot star. This is fine. So the next part is I'll just go with public class main. This is fine. Within the main class, I'll just go with here. So this is fine. I'll just give no need to make use of mm, input output exception. I think this is fine. Let's see. Let's see. Further, let's write. I mean, let's continue with the further things. Later, let's see about the input output exception. So now, first, we have to take the input from the user, right? So for that, I'll be making use of the scanner. So I'll not be going with the buffered input or the print writer. I'll just be going with the scanner. So we'll be making use of the system out println rather than out dot println, right? So here, this will be new scanner, this one inbuilt, so system dot in. This is fine. So next step is we have to go with the initial number of display. We have to go with the initial number on the display, sorry, right? So here this one I'm just going with the n and m. So this one will be scanner dot next int. This is fine. For m also I'll be going with the same thing, the input part, right? So we have n and m, right? So let me copy paste the same thing and change this one to m, right? So line number 6, we are going with the initial number on the display, and m is nothing but the target number we want to reach, right? So accordingly with the question, we have discussed this one, we know this, but we just have to articulate the same thing in the form of code. Now let's move on with the main logic part, right? So we have to count the number of button presses. That is the thing that we have to do accordingly with the question. Basically we have to count the number of button presses, right? So here in this case, let me initialize the steps to 0 first. Next step is we have to work backwards from m to n greedily. So we as we had discussed earlier, we will be going with a greedy approach at any cost. We will be going with the greedy approach at any cost. So here, let me go with the while loop. This one, m greater than n, then this will be if m modulo 2, if it is equal to 0, then this one is m equals m by 2. So if it is even, then we will reverse the red button. We will reverse the red button. Means um, red button is nothing but we'll be doubling the number. We will be doubling the number. So we will halve it. We will halve it basically, right? Halve it means we'll be dividing that one, and then we'll be dividing if the number is even. If you remember the approach, if the number is even, then we will divide it, and then if we haven't reached the number, then we will go with the plus one, right? So that is the logic basically. That is the reason we are working backwards from m to n greedily here, right? So if it is even, we will reverse the red button. We will reverse the red button double, so we can have it, right? So next else 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 what we will do here, if odd, if the number is odd, then we will increment it to even. We will increment it to even. That's what plus one we gave in the first example, right? We had we had the inputs 4 and 6. First we divided 6 by 2. as it was even number, we divided 6 by 2. It was 3. The output that we got is 3. To make it 4, to make it 4 or even, so we had to add plus 1 or increment it. We incremented it, right? So we can write in this way. To increment, I'll just go with m equals m plus 1. M equals m plus 1, right? So this is fine. Next step was, we have to count the operations, number of operations or the number of button presses, this one it took to reach this one end to end basically. Or as we are going with the reverse greedy approach here, from this is basically from m to n. So in this case we are both works, man, both works. We are working backwards from m to n greedily here in this case. So we have to count the number of button presses. So initially steps I have considered 0. This we have to increment the steps. That's it. So we are done with the main logic. We are left with only certain things. Means we have to add the remaining differences. Means now m is less than or equal to n. So only one option is to subtract, nothing but blue button. Nothing but we have to go with the blue button to subtract, right? If m is less than or equal to n. So here this will be steps equals, sorry, oh, just give me a second, one second. So yeah, steps equals steps plus n minus m, right? So this is fine. We are just adding the remaining difference. Finally, we have to output the minimum steps, or we have to print the minimum steps, right? So I'll just go with system out println here of steps. So let me delete this one of steps. This is fine. So yeah, this is it for the code. This code is simple, right? So this is it for the code. We have went with a pure greedy approach here. Means basically what we are doing here, we are working backwards from m to n greedily. This main, the line number 11 to this one, what do we call, 19. 11 to 19. This part we are working backwards from m to n greedily, right? As we have to count the operations, we are incrementing the steps here, right? So we are done with the coding part. So before checking the code with the different inputs, so I just want to copy paste the signature starter template. Just give me a second. So let me come here. So yeah, let me paste it over here. So let's concentrate on the logical part. So I'll just come here. So let's check the code with different inputs, man. So 4, 6 I'll copy. The output that we need to get here is 2. We have already discussed this one, right? So here, let me run this one. Yeah, we are getting the output 2. So let me copy this one. We have to get the output 9. So basically, so let me paste it over here, input. So we are getting the output 9. So our code works absolutely correct, right? So let me copy the entire code. Let me come here. I have already selected B here, 2 buttons. Let me paste it over here and hit the submit button. I hope this works for all the test cases, man. Let's see. Let's wait for some time. See, running on test 1. Let's wait for some time. Yeah, here you can clearly see in the toast it is showing accepted, right? Here as well. So whatever the code that we have written works absolutely correct for all the test cases. Whatever the code that we have written works absolutely correct for all the test cases, right? So here you can clearly see we have just made use of the reverse greedy approach, right? Yeah, reverse greedy approach. So this is it for the solution. So I hope the solution part is completely clear along with the approach and complexities. For now, this is it. Thanks for watching, guys.